Hi, I'm Nate Johnson, owner and head trainer at Steel Strength Training, where we believe in prehab, rehab, and doing what you thought was impossible. In the last video, I talked about the one rule you have to be following for a successful bulk or mass gaining phase. Today, I'm going to be talking about some advanced things that you can be doing in order to ensure that you maintain more of your leanness during this time. It may contribute to better gains, but I do think it will ensure that you stay leaner during this process. But just a warning, I don't want you to obsess over staying shredded year-round. During a mass gaining phase, let's focus on mass gaining. Let's not worry about the fat too much. Alright, so I'll touch on that in a second, but your focus should be on gaining mass optimally while minimizing fat gain, not completely preventing it, because what happens is if you're eating in order to prevent fat gain, you're never going to go anywhere. The muscle mass gain is going to be so slow. You're going to be better off doing a bulk, maximizing your muscle gains, and cutting off the little bit of fat that you put on during that time. Now, to the other group of people who are like, yeah, don't worry about your abs, they don't matter, you know, just get big and huge and strong, that's fine, alright? But if you have physique goals, if you want to stay relatively lean, don't just completely forego all common sense. Don't go hog wild, don't go eating at buffets every single day or hitting up McDonald's and Burger King every single day. Make sure you are in a surplus, okay? Don't worry about your abs too much, but if you have abs 1 week and 2 weeks later they're gone, something's wrong, alright? So we don't want to be gaining weight too quickly either. Now, the 3 things that you can do to ensure that you stay lean during your bulk. The first is intermittent fasting. I'm not going to touch on that a whole lot because in one of my next videos I'll actually be, next several videos I'll be talking about intermittent fasting or skipping breakfast, basically why I recommend it, what it is, potential benefits, and then benefits that are verified that I've seen to be true in both myself and other people. So, intermittent fasting, skipping breakfast basically. The next thing is calorie cycling. The next thing is carb cycling. And so, okay, I actually lied. Not 3 points, 4 points. We got intermittent fasting, calorie cycling, carb cycling, and protein intake goal. So this is going to be very similar to my advanced fat loss principles. I think it applies to both bulking and fat loss phases. I just think the biggest thing that changes is going to be your calorie goal. Obviously, if you're gaining weight, you're going to eat a little more. If you're losing weight, you're going to eat a little less. Now, intermittent fasting, do it. Give it a shot. If you have any reservations, I will touch on myths associated with skipping breakfast. People worried about the health risk of skipping breakfast, things like that. I'll talk about the specifics, why I recommend it, why I think it's great. But I do think it'll help keep you a little leaner during your bulk than if you weren't doing it. The next thing is calorie cycling. So in the last video I said you need to have a calorie goal about 250 calories over what your maintenance is. This is true. However, I think to make it more effective, you should average that out. So if you're averaging 2750 a day, then what you can do is eat over that on your workout days. Here's 2750. You eat over that on your workout days and you eat under it on your off days. Now, over the week, you're coming out to an average of 2750. It takes a little bit of calculation. It's not too complicated, but it just makes sense because you're feeding the body more after you've worked out. Your body's in more of an anabolic environment. It's more ready to soak up nutrients and to rebuild and repair itself to get bigger and stronger, which is what we want. And then on our off days, when we're not providing as much of a stimulus, we're eating a little under that maintenance, which is going to basically prevent some fat loss. You know, you're fitting a lot of the calories around the time when your body most needs them, backing off just a little bit, not too much, right? We're still trying to gain weight here, but backing off a little bit on your off days to kind of keep fat gains to a minimum. With that, I also recommend carb cycling. So eating a butt ton of carbs, starchy carbs, after your workout, particularly after your workout. You can eat them before as well, but you should really be loading up on carbs on your workout days, keeping fats a little lower. High protein, high carb, lower fat, not no fat, but lower fat on your workout days. And then on your off days, to keep insulin low when we're not as insulin sensitive, our body doesn't need all those carbs at the time, we are going to do high protein, moderate fat intake, and a low carb intake for that day. So basically, protein is high on both days. On your workout days, you're doing high carb, lower fat. On your off days, you're doing low carb and then a higher fat intake. This is just going to manipulate insulin so that you are spiking it at the times when your body's the most sensitive to it and keeping it low at the times when you're less sensitive to it. I'll touch on insulin sensitivity in another video as well to explain that to those of you who don't understand what in the world I'm talking about. The fourth and final goal that you could be shooting for some advanced tips for keeping you lean during a bulk, and this will actually ensure that you make optimal progress as well, is having a protein goal. Again, I touched on it in the fat loss video. You actually need more protein during fat loss because this is just going to ensure that you have enough building blocks in your body to prevent muscle loss during that fat loss phase. Now, protein is still important because it is the building block to the muscles, so we want to make sure we're providing enough. It's just not as important as it is during a fat loss phase. Just wanted to throw that out there. But shoot for at least 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. So like in my fat loss example, if you are a 200-pound male, shoot for at least 140 grams of protein, and you can go all the way up to 1 gram per pound of body weight. But if you follow those 4 goals on top of the first goal, the first rule of bulking, mass gaining phase, then you will have even more success with your bulk. So we'll go over those again. Intermittent fasting, basically skipping breakfast, which I'll talk about in a video coming up. Then you have calorie cycling, giving your body more energy on the days you're more active, the days you're lifting weights, fewer calories on the days you're not as active when you don't need that energy as much. Same deal with the carbs, higher carbs on your workout days when your body needs to replenish the muscle glycogen, lower carbs on your off days, and finally making sure you're getting enough protein, anywhere from 0.7 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Good luck, guys.